So, this is surprising. Less than 24 hours after the developers posted the last spring event leak, they posted another one. As you can see, this is made on the 4th of April. This is made on the 5th of April. This was made at nearly 2100. This was made at 1900, which is actually the same as it was back in the previous 2022 leaks. It was random, kinda. It went from like sometimes 48 hours, sometimes 36 hours, sometimes longer or shorter, sometimes 24 hours. So it looks like developers are intensifying the leaks, but then again, this could be the fact that we are over the weekend and the developers know that most of the hype is probably going to be built around the weekend stuff because I don't know, people aren't at work, people aren't working, I don't work. I mean, I don't work anyway because I'm on break, but most of the leaks, if they get popular, is going to be around the weekend. So I assume that's why they've gone for this being on Friday, this being on Saturday, and they might go for one on Sunday. We have to see on that. Now, the developers have posted about this on Twitter and on YouTube, saying that this bread is going to blow your mind. These ducks are coming to Tower Defense Simulator spring event. Now, for some reason, a lot of people are saying that this could be part of a Ducky elf camp thing, which was said after the Ducky unit here was said to be leaked. Now, again, in that video that I last produced on this image, I said that people have confused the name Ducky unit with the fact that these are units for like towers. No, these are not units for towers or like an elf camp skin. Purely because they are enemies. They're clearly enemies. I don't know why people are getting confused with these being actual tower units or something like that. Just because one of these enemies, Ducky unit here, has a name with unit in it, does not mean that they're coming as units for the elf camp, as a Ducky elf camp. That skin may be in the game, but this does not mean that they're going to be looking like this, basically. Like, some people have suggested this could be like a rifleman. Where's its gun? People have said this could be like the, what is it? The explosive one. Is it the rifle? No, it's not the rifleman. The grenadier or something like that. That could be the grenadier. Okay, but then what's this? Riot guard? That looks nothing like the riot guard. And like, sure, maybe there could be a Ducky elf camp. It won't look like this. I can guarantee you for that. And people have said that these ducks here are further evidence of a Ducky unit elf camp thing. No, because why would there be redundancy? Why would there be an explosive one here and an explosive one here? Given the fact that, technically, yes, one could be an upgrade of the other. But one is clearly an explosive Ducky seen here with an explosive strapped onto it. That, I don't think, is a rifleman or grenadier or riot guard upgrade at all. These are just explosive duckies. Because yes, the explosive duckies did exist previously, and actually they do have a similar appearance to what is seen in the leak. So here you can see the explosives here, and you can see the explosive here. They're actually quite similar in terms of like their design, their curved design, and the radio antenna from it. But the fact is, they have glasses here. Meanwhile, these don't have glasses. Furthermore, there's no like orange button on it. I guess it's more like a dial pad. So I guess there is some changes. But like I said previously in other things, there will be leak changes that mean that it doesn't correspond with like versions seen in 2022. The developers would have to change it as they update the Ducky code from the legacy variant in 2022 to the modern variant seen here. Whether or not the explosive Ducky acts similarly to the explosive Ducky here is probably, yes, let's be real. Not entirely sure how you change up an explosive Ducky to perform differently to what is seen here. I'll be totally honest with you. I would have to assume that when this duck dies, it'll explode similarly to the explosive Ducky back in 2022 in an ability that I've called domestic terrorism. Meanwhile, this Ducky with a similar glasses seems like it has an explosive rocket. So it looks like it's an upgrade to the explosive Ducky here, except that it has ranged attacks, which could probably stun towers. Now, I suggested it could be something similar. It was going to be like an explosive demolition man or whatever here, but this is not really an explosive thing. It does actually look like, ironically enough, something that heals duckies with its green thing, and some people have suggested that this could be like the field medic of ducks. Okay, fine, maybe. But then if you compare to this, why would there be an explosive Ducky with the explosive strapped on its back and an explosive rocket Ducky? That makes no sense. These aren't part of a Ducky elf camp skin. Please stop fooling yourself for that. I don't know why. The elf camp is an event tower. Why would it have purposeful leaks for it in an event? That makes no sense. Also, Tower Defense Simulator says that these ducks are coming to this Tower Defense Simulator spring event. The event, not skins for the event. Furthermore, when they talk about the Ducky units, yes, they say he's back for the Tower Defense Simulator spring event. It doesn't say that they're coming as skins for the event. Please get that in your mind that these are not units for a Ducky elf camp skin. I have talked about this in the past. It is not for that. I would also like to point out, if this was actually part of a skin, as some people seem to be thinking, like a Ducky elf camp skin, this will be the first time that the developers have made leaks, multiple leaks, on a skin in the game. Let's not forget, this is not multiple skins in the game. It is one skin in the game. This cannot be all for hype for one skin. I just refuse to believe that developers would post this many leaks about one skin in an event. It's not possible, because developers haven't posted this much graphics for skins ever. In fact, the last time I checked, they've never done it for a skin. It's always been for enemies. So these are enemies. These aren't units. These aren't friendly stuff for to you guys. The Ducky elf camp may be coming. It won't look like this. Also, developers actually point out bread here, and as you can see here, yeah, the crates are actually full of bread. They're actually labeled as bread, which actually was actually leaked previously here. As you can see, bread, it's actually, you can barely see it, but yes, they have a title on the crates which do spell out bread. Now, I'm not entirely sure where bread is involved here, but it does look like there's like some secret operative stuff where the ducks are invading like some hall of bread or something. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe the developers are breaking into the secret top plan HQ Paradoxum Games in Outpost 32, rebuilding Ducky Doom, and then stealing bread. Are we going down a spy mission, James Bond setting, where Mr. Daniel Craig here has a silencer and a gun, and it's going to murder some of our top scientists at Paradoxum Games headquarters. No, actually, it's not Paradox. TDS organization. Also, I actually never talked about this, but these files actually do have names. So this file here is called explosives, whereby these files here, this file here, is actually called soldier.png. And I did talk about this one. This one's called agent.png. So this was like an agent Ducky. Soldier duckies, I don't know, we know there's Ducky unit, but these look like soldiers of some kind. And then explosive duckies, one with a rocket, one with a C4 strapped onto its back. Now, some other things I want to address is the fact that the shadow here, people suggested these are actually giant stuff. So as you can see here, this looks like a mug of some kind, which, I mean, okay, I get it. And this, it looks like a toothbrush, which actually, thinking about it, probably does make sense. And meanwhile, this looks like some hand dispenser, soap dispenser thing. So it looks like a giant table of some kind, which could make sense in the context of this. These look like giant books. So I don't know what the purpose of this event is, because it looks like we're fighting in a giant oversized house, which, to be fair, isn't actually out of place, because we are fighting, sometimes we fight on toy boards. And for context, toy board is basically inside a giant house. I mean, I don't know how this exactly fits into the lore of Tower Defense Simulator, but then again, we do fight in space, we do fight in random Halloween patches or graveyards in Tower Defense Simulator. For God's sake, we're fighting on base plates for some of the time, so this lore makes no sense whatsoever. But the fact is, we have fought in a house. In fact, this is a giant house with stuff strewn everywhere. A bedroom, if you say. So we're not exactly adverse to fighting people in like random giant houses for some reason. Look, this map even has giant books, which is actually suggested by one of the map leaks. Which, fair enough, very cool. We might be fighting on a toy board, guys. Could you imagine if Tower Defense Simulator actually somehow incorporates like one of a evergreen map into like one of the events? To be fair though, they've incorporated like Cyber City quite poorly in the past, but here, that maybe it could be better. Again, this is more and more likely that we might be fighting Ducky Doom in this exact environment here, because it looks like it has giant stuff. Again, I don't know how any of this makes any sense. I don't know why we're fighting in a giant setting for some reason. I don't know why Jack the Giant or whatever from that green bean whatever ad is getting involved in this whatsoever. Jack and the... Oh, no, that's Jack is the guy who cut down the beanstalk. Does the giant even have a name? I don't know. All I know is he has a thing against Englishmen, so I should probably avoid this with all costs. V5 I smell the blood of an Englishman or something like that. Pretty discriminatory, if you ask me. Also, who's on the wiki called it the Flock of Doom? Why Ducky Doom, the Nerd Duck? What's going on? Oh, speaking of which, does the Nerd Duck? Would we get a Nerd Duck? I don't know. But given the fact that the Nerd Duck exists, and the fact that these ducks are intelligent enough to have like giant books, stealing stashes of of like bread and somehow organize their own army, it could be a possibility. You never know. This nerd duck actually might not be an outlier. Yeah, looking about it, it looks actually like there is a giant shelf in this background, and it does have books stacked on top of it. So yeah, more credence to a giant map theory. Looks like a giant bathroom or giant storage area of some kind. I don't know if we're invading the US. Yes, US is what? Secret stash of bread in case of a war or something. I know they have that for cheese, probably in Wisconsin or something like that, but I don't know if they have it for bread. But it looks like that's what the duckies are doing here. So with that, I don't know if developers are going to post in another 24 hours time. If they do, I guess I have to make another video covering it. But things are about to get explosive in Tower Defense Simulator's spring event, which is probably coming within the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Yeah, we'll have to see on that.